All right, today we are diving into a really fascinating psychological quirk about money. It's called the $20,000 rule, and it explains something kind of weird, why sometimes having more money in the bank can actually make you feel worse.
So let's just jump right in with a question that sounds completely backwards. How on earth can having $5,000 in savings feel more dangerous than having absolutely nothing? I mean, logically, it makes zero sense, but it's a very real psychological trap that so many of us fall into.
Well, this strange feeling, it actually has a name, the emergency fund paradox. It's this unexpected, kind of cruel twist on the journey to financial security where the first steps you take towards safety actually introduce a whole new kind of anxiety. Okay, let's break this down. You work your tail off, you cut back, you sacrifice, and you finally build up a small safety net. You should be feeling relieved, right? You should feel on top of the world. But for so many people, that's just not what happens. Instead of relief, this new, heavy pressure starts to build.
This brings us to a really specific phase in the saving journey, the $5,000 anxiety plateau. Now that number, 5,000, it's just a placeholder, right? For some people it's less, for some it's going to be more. But the feeling is exactly the same. Your new safety net starts to feel less like a cushion and a whole lot more like a tightrope you're terrified you're going to fall from.
And this really gets to the core of it. We're not just talking about being cautious here, it's a state of hypervigilance. You're scrutinizing every single dollar that goes out. And the irony is just painful. The very fund you built to reduce your stress has become your #1 source of it. So what does this actually feel like day to day? Well, it looks a lot like this. You start to fear every single purchase, even the necessary ones. There's this constant nagging worry in the back of your head that one tiny emergency is going to wipe out all of your hard work. And this is critical. Your focus shifts from the positive, from what can I build, to the negative, what can I lose? Our brains are just wired to feel the sting of a loss way more intensely than the joy of a gain. So that little savings account, it turns into a precious object in a museum, something to be admired but never ever touched.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The fear of using the money becomes greater than the fear of the actual problem the money was saved to solve in the first place. You're basically trapped by your own safety net. So the big question is, how do you get out of this trap?
This is where the $20,000 rule comes into play. And again, this isn't about some magic number. Think of it as a psychological tipping point. It's the moment where the script in your head finally flips and that anxiety starts to melt away. Let's focus on this number for just a second. Like we said, this specific amount is going to be different for everyone. It all depends on your life, your expenses, your situation. But what it represents is a threshold. It's the amount of money where your fund is finally large enough to feel robust, to feel like it can take a real hit and you'll still be okay.
So here's the crucial point. The $20,000 rule is all about a fundamental shift in your mindset. You move from playing defense, constantly protecting that small pile of cash, to finally playing offense. You go from a state of constant fear to a state of genuine security.
This is the key takeaway right here. Reaching this level isn't just about having a bigger balance in your checking account. It's about unlocking a completely new psychological relationship with your money and with your life. It changes how you think, how you feel, and how you act. So how does this actually change your life in the real world? Well, once you cross that threshold, your entire decision-making process transforms. You stop operating from a mindset of desperation, and you start operating from one of strength. I mean, the contrast is just, it's night and day. The $5,000 mindset is reactive, it's fear-based, it's all about survival. But the $20,000 mindset, it's proactive, it's security-based, it allows you to make decisions from a position of real strength and to start seeing opportunities instead of just threats everywhere you look.
And just think about what that really means. It means you no longer have to take the very first job that's offered to you because you're desperate for a paycheck. You don't have to stay in a bad situation, whether that's a job, an apartment, even a relationship, because you feel financially trapped. That desperation is just gone.
And what rushes in to fill that space is strength. You can actually negotiate for a better salary. You can afford to wait for the right opportunity. You can leave a toxic environment. You finally have the breathing room to make choices that are truly best for you, not just choices that keep your head above water. You know, this really gets to the heart of everything, doesn't it? We often think the whole purpose of saving is just to buy things,
or to prepare for some disaster. But maybe the true purpose is something so much more profound. It's to reclaim our own power, to give ourselves the ability to make our own decisions from a place of confidence, not a place of fear.
So that leaves us with one final thought. Remember, $20,000 is a concept, not a command. The real question is for you, and only you can answer it. What is the number that would fundamentally shift your mindset from defense to offense? What is your psychological safety number?